Oh, what is up everyone? This is OJ over here from PlayerEssence and welcome to the PE Nintendo Switch video. Today we got a lot of great topics for you guys, so let's go ahead and get right into the news. So, the Nintendo Switch. Apparently Digital Foundry has revealed the specs of the Switch CPU and GPU as far as clock speeds go. There are still a couple unknowns and there's still some stuff that we don't 100% know, but this is what they feel the Nintendo Switch will be based on their developer sources. They were right on many things before with the Nintendo Switch, so I wouldn't doubt them at this point, but like I said beforehand, there are some unknowns. So let's go ahead and get into what they had to say. So quotations, where Switch remains consistent is in CPU power. Cores run at 1020 megahertz, regardless of whether the machine is docked or undocked. This ensures that running game logic won't be compromised while gaming on the go. The game simulation itself will remain entirely consistent. The machine's embedded memory controller runs at 1600 megahertz while docked, on par with the standard Tegra X1, but the default power mode undocked sees this drop to 1331 megahertz. However, developers can opt to retain full memory bandwidth in their titles should they choose to do so. As things stand, CPU clocks are half compared to the standard Tegra X1, but it's the GPU aspect of the equation that will prove more controversial. While docked, Switch doesn't run the Tegra X1's full potential. Clock speeds are locked here at 768 MHz, considerably lower than the 1 GHz found in the Shield Android TV. But the big surprise from our perspective was the extent to which Nintendo has downclocked the GPU to hit its thermal and battery life targets. That's not a typo. It's really 307.2 megahertz, meaning that in portable mode, Switch runs at exactly 40% of the clock speed of a fully docked device. And yes, the table below does indeed confirm developers can choose to hobble Switch performance when plugged in to match the handheld profile should they so choose. So it's one of the things with these clock speeds and all this technical jargon, so many people have been giving opinions here and there. I've seen some damage control here. I've seen some people saying ridiculous stuff. You have Twitter developers, online developers coming out of nowhere saying that this particularly means that the Nintendo Switch will not get any third-party support and it can't support any third-party games whatsoever, and outside of launch there'll be nothing for the system because it just won't be worth developers to port the games based on nothing but their own opinion. No facts, no sales numbers, no anything. And I just find it funny as far as whatever side you're on, both spectrums. There's no need to damage control this, as this has already been known as far as where the power range will lie within the Nintendo Switch. Since the reveal event, and since it was revealed that Tegra will be handling this, we already knew, based on how small that thing is, that the standard performance of this is going to be around what Eurogamer was saying when they talked about it back in July or something like that. That's what we do know, so I don't understand where all of this outrage is coming from when we already knew this would be about the power range of the system. Now, it is fully customized, okay, so there are some things that we don't know as far as what it can do. It's built dedicated for gaming. Comparing it exactly to a product, an older product that's already on the market, necessarily isn't a one-to-one thing. We need to wait and see what they're going to do as far as the full product goes, and we still need to wait and see as far as an SCD, supplemental computing device, and how that factors into the system going forward in the future. And I think that's the biggest thing that even the big sites are not mentioning. That's very important, and I think will come into play, especially if Nintendo decides to get into VR, which there's also patents that they will get into that. I'm not sure if they're going to do it with this type of device as far as the power of the system. I think you need a little bit more oomph. I mean, they could do it like the Samsung VR or something like that, but I'm pretty sure that they're going to have a little bit more. So I don't understand both sides of the spectrum. I think people should really just be a little bit more patient when it comes to these things. Hey, I've jumped out of there and talked about certain things before in the past, and I know better not to do that at this point. So I'm not going to react all crazy being mad, nor am I going to sit here and say that it's okay. What I'm going to say at this point is we already knew this. We already know that Nintendo was going for more of a portable and home console hybrid. We already knew around what the power was going to be, so I don't understand the big outrage. Like, I understand the outrage back when it first happened, but what are you complaining at this point, and why are you making it seem as if it won't get anything when that's not the case? I think the bigger thing, which I'm going to transition to right here, is actually getting the support from the third-party engines and the architecture. That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing that I think, in my opinion, are going to be sales, architecture, and features. Those are the biggest things to me. And leading into that, the next story that we have here is that the Nintendo Switch is listed as a Vulkan and OpenGL conformant. So Nintendo's upcoming console, the Nintendo Switch, has been certified as a Vulkan 1.0 conformant product by the Kronos Group. The confirmation comes from the console being listed on the Kronos website as of the 18th of December. It advises that the product is CTS version 1.0.1.0. For context, the Kronos Vulkan is described as Kronos as a quotations new generation graphics and compute API that provides high efficiency cross-platform access to modern GPUs. In addition to this, it also shows that the Switch is listed under the Kronos adopter program for OpenGL. OpenGL allows developers of software to create high-performance graphics. So all of this is really promising, and once again, it kind of leads into what I was saying before when people are saying, oh, the Nintendo Switch isn't going to get anything because of this as far as these leaked specs. These are the type of engines that the Nintendo Switch is supporting, unlike the Wii U didn't. We have Unreal Engine 4 support. We have a confirmation of Dragon Quest 11 coming to the Nintendo Switch. In addition to that, we have Vulkan and OpenGL as far as the latest versions go. These are going to be the tools that third-party developers are going to use to port games over to the Nintendo Switch. But I think in order to get that extended third-party support, they're definitely going to have to sell a lot of units. If developers feel that there's a base of fans enough for it to be a profit, they'll actually port it themselves, or they'll outsource it for someone else to port. So I don't understand where all these Twitter developers and online developers are coming out and saying all these things when we're getting stuff like Unreal Engine 4 confirmed as far as support from day one, Unity confirmed from that angle, as far as Vulkan, OpenGL, all of these different engines that you're seeing on PS4 and Xbox One being utilized, with the Nvidia CEO even coming out and saying himself that it's going to be able to easily port PC, PS4, Xbox One games over. I don't understand where all this outrage is coming, other than the fact that people feel that this is going to happen, but they're not looking at all of the evidence. So that's just my opinion on staying neutral. I still think Nintendo needs to come out and prove and show to us what this system can do as far as how the games look and how they perform. So that's still yet to be seen. But having stuff like Vulkan and OpenGL and Unreal Engine 4 supported from day one, in addition to Unity, I think that's a good sign. Alright, and moving on to the last article here. We have the first full official trailer for Seasons of Heaven on the Nintendo Switch. So Seasons of Heaven is a promising new title that's in development for the Nintendo Switch, and we've had a couple teaser videos, but now we actually have the full thing, and it looks amazing. Now, one thing to note, that this is the PC footage of the game that you are seeing here. The developers, Any Arts, still does not have a dev kit at this point, but they are going to get one, and once they do, they're going to port the game over to the Nintendo Switch. So Any Arts Productions, I think that's their name, yeah, Any Arts Production, they're based in Burbank, California, and they are a creative team. Seasons of Heaven is actually based off of the novel from the same name. You're going to play it as a boy that is autistic, in addition to his little pit bull or dog that he has, as you can see in the trailer, and it looks interesting. And the fact that they're able to port this game over from the PC to Nintendo Switch, that they're that confident, actually shows that it can handle Unreal Engine 4 well, it can handle these PC ports well, or they probably wouldn't be doing this in the first place, or to end up like a ukulele. Now, we still need to wait and actually see some of this, but they're committing to this game to be on Nintendo Switch. So for at this point, you have to take it as, yeah, Unreal Engine 4 PC to the Nintendo Switch is going to be something that's going to be relatively easy for a smaller studio like Any Arts Production. So really looking forward to seeing more of this game and actually getting some hands-on time. Maybe next year they'll be able to actually work on it and get a release in the late 2017 or maybe 2018. We have to wait and see on that one, but overall, it's definitely a promising start to the Nintendo Switch as far as indie developer support goes. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Lets me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future, and subscribe to PlayerEssence for more news, reviews, trailers, tips, and tricks, and everything in gaming. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you for the next video. Peace.